So we got Acadia National Park. Where is it? It's in Maine. When was it established? On February 26, 1919. And how big is it? Oh, it's only 49,600 acres. And after attending Acadia National Park, one visitor wrote, quote, "You can fish with one hand and sample blueberries from a wind-stunted bush with the other." Also, the entrance fee for mid-June to mid-October is $20 per vehicle for a 7-day pass, while the rest of June to the end of October is $10 per vehicle for a 7-day pass. So I heard you guys want to know some history about Acadia National Park. Well, you're in luck because I've got some for you. So one of the biggest attractions in the park is called Mount Desert Island, and it's an island. It's not part of the continental United States, but it used to be. But that all changed about 20,000 years ago when you had glaciers going through the area. And when they were rounding off the mountaintops, it was cutting passes, it was making lake beds, widening valleys, a whole bunch of stuff like that. But as time passed, the glaciers melted, causing the water levels to rise. Well, the water from the glaciers, it went into those lake beds, those valleys that they widened. This is where it was going. So when the water levels rose up, it made it an island. Alright, let's fast forward to 1604, where we have a man named Samuel de Champlain, and he explored the coast where Acadia National Park was, and he saw a lot of mountains and all that kind of stuff, and he decided to name it the Isles des Monts Deserts, which basically translates to the island of barren mountains. And the reason he named that what it is because there's a lot of mountains and little amount of trees. Now let's fast forward to the mid-1800s. So we have the summer people. They rediscover Mount Desert. And they build mansions on it, which they called cottages, and they anchored their boats there and living the dream there. However, they wanted to preserve some of the area, so they donated the middle part of the land to the government, which made it the first national park east of the Mississippi, and it was named Lafayette National Park. But then it changed to Acadia National Park in 1929. So as Acadia National Park grew, there were some problems. Basically, the only way it would grow was by people donating land to it. And because of that, there was a lot of private property laws and all that kind of stuff they had to figure out how to get around legally. And it was so spotty and patchy, the boundaries of Acadia, it wasn't until 1986 that they set the official boundaries of the park. And it is one of the smaller parks in the United States, but it's also one of the most visited national parks. There's about 2.5 million people a year visit. So if you're planning on taking a trip to Acadia, I'm about to tell you some key information that you are going to need to know. So when the best time to go is? Basically all year round. However, the main visitor center is only open from mid-April through October. Because it's up in the northeast, you're going to get a lot of snow and cold weather that a lot of people don't really want to be up there when that's happening. And if you go between July and August, there's going to be probably a lot of heavy traffic. Another time of the year that draws a lot of crowds to Acadia is in September and October, because it is absolutely beautiful there during the fall. Then you get down to the colder months, November, December. There's going to be a lot of snow and ice that are going to close some of the area of the parks down. However, there is a good side to that, because if you like cross-country skiing, parts of the park are open to do that. So once you're at Acadia, the first thing you should do is go to Mount Desert Island. It might take you about a day, but it'll be worth it. So you're going to drive on a 20-mile park loop road that's going to take you to the top of Cadillac Mountain. And then if you have a second day, you should go to the Schoodic Peninsula, and you can go there and see an awesome view of the rocky coast of Maine. And if you have any more time there, you should take your pick on one of the trails or smaller islands in the park to visit. So Mount Desert Island, very cool place, and one of the best things you can do is early in the morning, go up to the top of the mountain on the Park Loop Trail. But you have to go very early before the sunrise, because the sunrises on top of the mountain are absolutely beautiful. You can see where the dawn first touches the continental United States, the very first spot it touches when the sun rises. Then after that, you can go pick blueberries all over the mountain. They're basically everywhere. Well, between July and August they are. On your way back down the mountain, there are many overlooks to stop at. For example, probably the most famous one there is called Frenchman Bay. There's also a sand beach, which is very popular, Thunder Hole, which is also very popular, and many other things you can do. There's a city just outside Acadia National Park called Bar Harbor, where you can basically see the daily life of people who live in Maine. And there's many cruises you can take and other activities you can do. There are many other islands in Acadia that you can visit besides Mount Desert Island. Some of the islands you can visit still have the original name that Samuel de Champlain named them back in the early 1600s. Once you're on the island, you can do many things. There's harbors, there's amazing views, many trails you can hike on. A lot of people go bird watching because you can see a lot of ospreys and bald eagles. There's also cruises you can take to other islands or around islands. There's museums you can explore, or there's shops you can buy souvenirs at. There's just a lot of stuff you can do at the other islands. The animals you will see in Acadia range from different types of birds to sea life, such as seals, dolphins, whales, sea stars, crabs, and stuff like that. While you're hiking, you might see some salamanders or frogs. And if you're lucky, you might see some foxes or deer. And if you're very, very, very lucky, you might spot a moose.